Okay, in this lecture, we're going to talk about one of the most important components of a WebLogic domain, and that is the admin server. The admin server serves as the central control point for a domain. We use the admin server to configure just about every aspect of a WebLogic domain. The admin server maintains the domain's configuration documents like the config XML and distributes those changes to all the servers in the domain, to each one of these managed servers. You can also use the admin server as a central location from which to monitor all resources in a domain. So if you've got data sources or JMS queues that you want to monitor, you do all of this from the admin server. And each WebLogic domain has one and only one admin server. So WebLogic comes with a variety of tools and APIs that you can use to interface with your domain. The most prominent one and the most commonly used one is going to be the admin console, and that's a web application that we'll log into later on in this lab. And from the admin console, you can create resources, manage resources, monitoring, perform diagnostics. It is the main tool in your toolbox for administering WebLogic. And there are other tools, of course, Fusion Middleware Control, which allows you to perform cloud scale management and manage multiple domains, not just a single domain. So let me rephrase that. The admin console is used for administering a single domain. The Fusion Middleware Control and Enterprise Manager Cloud Control interfaces are separate products that you can use to manage multiple WebLogic domains. And then there's the WebLogic scripting tool, which is WebLogic's scripting interface, and we touched on this in the previous lab, and we created a domain from a domain template. WLST is very powerful and can perform all the same tasks that you can do from the admin console. However, it's script-based and not mouse and click based. And oddly enough, WebLogic also comes with a series of Ant tasks as well as Maven tasks as well, so you can invoke administrative functions throughout your build process. You can create WebLogic domains using Ant tasks. You can deploy applications using Ant tasks, and so on and so forth. Now, if you're a programmer, WebLogic comes with a series of APIs allowing you to develop applications that can also manage WebLogic. There's the JMX or Java Management Extension, which is a standard for managing MBeans or management beans, and we'll get into MBeans later on in this course. There's also the standard Java EE Management API, a WebLogic Deployment API for managing WebLogic deployments, and a logging API where you can develop custom logging providers for your domain and your application. So how do you start up the admin server? Really simple. There's a single script under your domain home. The start WebLogic.sh script actually lives under domain home and in domain home bin. And this script takes no parameters. You just launch it from your terminal window or command prompt, and it will start up the admin server. I want to focus on the admin console. This is a very important, you're going to be spending most of your time in the admin console for the rest of this course. And if you spend any time working with WebLogic, you're going to spend a lot of time in the admin console. The admin console allows you to perform a ton of functions. What you see on the screen here is just a small subset of those functions, but these are the most common high-level functions that you can perform. We can configure and manage server lifecycle, so we can create managed servers, configure startup and shutdown, configure node manager to control server lifecycle. You can configure clusters, so WebLogic can be configured for high availability and load balancing through the use of clusters, and we'll go into clusters in more detail later on in this course. We can configure WebLogic services. There's a variety of, through the admin console, we'll certainly cover security, so users, groups, roles, security providers, application security, domain security, all that is managed through the admin console. We deploy applications through the console. You can monitor server and application performance, view log files, and configure coherence clusters and manage deployment descriptors. So there's this is at a high level of what you can do through the admin console. And there's, as you'll see when we walk through the console, there are hundreds of options. Okay, so let's switch over to lab exercise number 3, admin console. This lab will walk you through the console itself and introduce you to the console and get you familiar with the layout and how to